Argentina wins the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar with a dramatic win over France. Let's compare the World Cup wins from 1986 and 2022. We'll also look at some fun facts between those 2 years and some stock market comparison between 1987 and 2022, which also included the 1987 market crash. And finally, is Messi GOAT with this World Cup win? Thanks for watching my channel. Take it easy trading. Your channel to get some stock market and macroeconomic reviews, stock and index chart analysis, weekly earnings, and some trading tips. Please subscribe, like, and click the bell icon to get notified of the new videos. Now comparison between 1986 and 2022 World Cup wins. In the 1986 World Cup quarterfinal, Diego Maradona scored both the goals in a 2-1 victory over England. This match is known for two different reasons. The first goal was unpenalized handling foul known as the hand of God, while the second goal was voted as the goal of the century by FIFA voters as Maradona dribbled 60 meters past five England players to score the goal. In the semi-finals, West Germany beat France 2-0 and Argentina beat Belgium 2-0. In the finals, Argentina beat West Germany 3-2 and Maradona won his first World Cup. In 2022, England exited once again in the quarterfinal stage. We had semi-finals between France and Morocco with the score of 2-0 and Argentina and Croatia with the final score of 3-0. That set up the clash between Argentina and France. We had two goals from Messi and a hat trick by Mbappe. The game ended in the regular time 2-2, and then in the overtime, both Messi and Mbappe scored to tie the score at 3-3. In the penalty shootout, Argentina wins 4-2, and Messi claims his first World Cup win. Now let's look at some facts, inflation and economy between 1986 and 2022. First, the major news of 1986, we had a Chernobyl explosion and the Space Shuttle Challenger disintegration, Oprah Winfrey show, as well as the comet Halley reaching the closest point to the Earth for the second time in the 20th century. We also had Soviet Union launch the Mir space station. How is the inflation compared to 1986 to now? We had gas price increase of $0.19 to 3.85 now, as well as bread prices 57 cents per loaf to $1.85 now, egg prices 90 cents per carton to $3.59, and the chicken prices 0.77 per dollar per pound for the whole chicken $1.84, and the electricity prices increased 8 cents per kilowatt hour to 16 cents now. And if you had invested $100 in the S&P 500 at the end of 1986, you would have close to $4,000 in 2022. That's an increase of 4,000%. And now with the inflation, as we saw, the real S&P 500 returns are cut in half. So the same $100 are worth $1,500 in 2022 as compared to the 1986 dollars due to the inflation. Let's look at some key personalities between those 2 years. We had Paul Walker as the Fed chair and Jerome Powell as the Fed chair now, and we had Ronald Reagan as the Republican president in 1986 to Joe Biden as the Democratic president in 2022. We can see some similarities between how Paul Walker has been increasing the rates in 1980s to reduce the inflation, and Jerome Powell is also doing the same thing in 2022 as well. But for Walker, the inflation was much higher in the 1980s. It was well over 12 to 15%, and the interest rates were increased to 20% in 1980 and 81 to combat the inflation. By the end of 1985 and 86, the inflation came down to the 2% level, only to increase to 6% in the later part of the 80s and early 90s. And last week we saw Fed Chairman Powell increase the rate 50 basis point to 4.4%, and then we're expecting by end of 2023 a rate of 5.1, and then subsequently dropping to 4.1 in 2024 and then 3.1 in 2025. And if you want to see my analysis of last week's stock market, please click on the link. I'll also put the link in the description. Now let's look at 1986 to 1987 S&P 500 chart. This is the daily chart of S&P 500 between 1986 and 1988. After Argentina won the World Cup in June 1986, the next month we roughly saw a 7% drop in July, followed by a 8% rally in the next 2 months. Then came a 10% drop in the third month in the October. And after the October 1986, we saw a roughly 45% rally in the next 8 months, well into 1987. And then started the 1987 crash. We had October 1987 Black Monday crash, where the indices dropped more than 20% in a single day. Will the history repeat again in 2022 and 2023 as well? Well, we don't know, but we have very good similarities between the inflation and the Fed rate hikes. But one thing for sure, as we saw the volatility in 1986, we will most likely see more volatility in the next year. Now, with this win, is Messi GOAT, greatest of all time? Messi has definitely inserted himself into the conversation. We have Pele, who had 3 World Cup wins, as well as we had Maradona with one World Cup final win. And Messi didn't win the Golden Boot Award in his win, whereas Maradona won the Golden Boot Award in 1986. I don't think Messi is the greatest of all time, but these are 3 different eras: 50s to 70s for Pele, and then 70s to 80s and 90s for Maradona, and then 2000s to up now is for Messi. Where do you rank Messi in the all-time list? Please let me know in the comments. And that's all for this. Please subscribe, like, and comment anything you'd like me to cover in the next video as well. Thanks for watching.